And good morning, everyone, and welcome back to NeelyFX. My name is Michael Neely, and this is the channel where I talk about foreign exchange trading, prop firm trading, and the like, and making money doing all those things. So that's kind of cool. We'll get into that a little bit later. In the meantime, let's go over this risk disclaimer because I live in the United States, and this is cool. This is what I need to do to explain to people who may be new to Forex that it is it's not something that you come in and buy and hold. It's, if you do that, you're going to get crushed badly. So we're not going to talk about that. We are going to talk about that this channel is for educational and entertainment purposes only and does not constitute trading or financial advice. I'm a professional trader, not a broker, trading my own capital. I do not solicit funds, manage client accounts, nor do I hold CFTC or NFA registration. I have held an NFA registration in the past, and those days are over, so don't send me your money. I will not trade on your behalf. You probably may not want me to trade on your behalf, too, by the way. Forex trading is highly speculative with a high risk of losing some or all of your investment capital. Only trade with funds you can comfortably afford to lose. And the CFTC risk disclosure goes like this. Forex trading carries a high degree of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. The high degree of leverage can work against you as well as for you. Before trading Forex, carefully consider your investment objectives, experience, and risk appetite. You could sustain a loss of some or all of your investment capital. So we'll start off with talking about the November challenge with Audacity Capital. Here is my platform in DX Trade, which is the only platform available that is allowed by the CFTC rules, I think. We cannot trade MT5 on or MT4 on those challenges. We have to trade DX Trade. That also means it takes some of the features out of that, like a trailing stop. You cannot use a trailing stop. I cannot use some of the other things, so I have to just really be really good, and I can't use any what do you call it, the things where automation. I can't do any automation for this. It's a closed program, and I do not have access to the back end of it. So with this, that's a 1 minute chart. It changes to 4 hours. Probably changes daily. Yeah, change it to daily. That's what it looks like on the daily. So we're not going to, and it's also an hour off from Trading View. So it's kind of interesting to see the differences in the charts. But look at that big swing in gold. We're going to talk about that in just a second. So in the meantime, let's come back over here. I've got it set on dollar versus the yen because that is something that's big coming up in the news this week. Have it set on daily. Let's go to the weekly chart, or pardon me, to the monthly charts. This is the video where I change my trend lines to see if my trend lines need changing at all. Monthly trend lines do not need changing at all. They are right in line with a nice, almost looks like a falling wedge there. But that's not enough to really spur anything yet. Besides, it's got a long way to run before it goes further, go to like October of 2028 before we start seeing any major problems with that. Any major what do you call them? Formations, chart formations, stuff like that on the monthly. So we're just going to look at that to see if the general trend is still solid. General trend is still solid. Oh, look at that. The daily chart is looking a little wonky, as it were. I'll look at the weekly chart too, because a couple of the guys that I follow very closely, Michael Boutros and James Stanley, both look at the weekly charts too. And this is what the weekly chart looks like, although the that's really noisy. We're going to turn off the Bollinger Bands because we don't need them for this. So I use Bollinger Bands to gauge the potential volumes involved. I think we're going to leave this in here too, so we can get maybe some speculative moves in here. So the weekly chart looks solid as well. I don't have any weekly trend lines in there. You'll also notice that I've added some other key areas in here. Bullish continuation level, which is 98.78 it looks like. And click on it twice, maybe we'll see the... Yeah, 97.65 is a bullish continuation. Bullish confirmation here from Michael Boutros is way up here at 99.84. If we see a move all the way to 99.84, we're going to see a lot of solid moves in Forex. That's a long way to go for the DXY to go. Let's go down to the daily chart and see what's going on there. Daily chart, we have... Better yet, let's back up a little bit and look at what some events that may be coming, what may be coming soon. This week, go here and go to this week. 19th, 24th, 26th, okay, about next week. Let's do that. Apply settings. And this is what we've got going on this week. In New Zealand, it's a bank holiday. For Sunday. It's a bank holiday every day on Sunday, as far as I'm concerned. We've got a lot of activity going on. The RBA governor speaks, not too concerned about that. We have the Australian CPI coming out. We also have Conference Board Consumer Confidence coming out on Tuesday. Wednesday, we have the Canadian Monetary Policy report and BOC rate decision. Wednesday, we also have the U.S. funds rate decision and the FOMC statement. And also the FOMC's press conference. We'll see how that goes. And then the same day, we have the BOJ rate policy decision. They're expected to hold the rate. That's something that's very interesting to me. They're expected to hold the rates. They don't raise rates very often. Let's go back over here for a second, because what I'm looking at here is the Japanese 10-year. And what I'm seeing here from a year ago is, well, maybe we're not looking at a rate increase. I would be surprised to see the BOJ not increase rates, because the 10-year bond market is usually the indicator on that. This is going back to April of 2025. Don't remember when the last rate increase was, but if you ask me, we're staring at a rate increase decision for BOJ, which very well could happen. If it does, it's going to crater. Crater is a strong word. It's going to have a pullback in the U.S. JPY and the GJ, the Great British Pound versus the JPY. So we'll see if we have those coming up. In the meantime, let's get back into looking at our lines. DXY daily still looking good, and the 4-hour trend lines I can see from here, they're looking good too. So we don't need to worry about the our trend lines on the DXY. They're looking solid. A lot of non-stuff going on this week due to the lack of information. That came out this week, so we're not going to worry about that. Let's go down to the monthly. Guarantee you hadn't been any moves that broke our monthly trend lines. Monthly trend lines look good. On the euro versus the dollar, let's go down to the weekly just for kicks, because I like looking at the weekly chart too to get some trading ideas. That is in a tight range right there. It doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere, but this trend range kind of looks like this range too. In which case there's a breakout, a breakdown, and then support up. It took a while for that to happen though. That's a weekly chart. Let's go down to, that's going all the way back to January 2025. Yeah. Okay. Let's go down to the daily. See what's happening on the daily chart. Daily chart, daily support, daily trend lines look good. Then we also have a critical level up here, 119. It's not going to break out of there anytime soon. If it breaks out to 119 soon, then that means we're making some money, I think. 4-hour trend line. Let's see what's going on the 4-hour trend line. We have a whole lot of nothing going on again. And our 4-hour support and resistance trend lines are also looking good. Looks like a channel down on the 4-hour and a channel up on the daily. I'm going to back out to the daily and look at this. I'm getting more of an eyeball on what the markets are doing from the daily charts in any other direction lately, which is interesting. If I pull my my preferred timeline out to the daily charts, might be my new strategy. US versus the JPY. We have the daily. Let's go to the monthly chart real quick. Guarantee it hasn't broken out of the monthly. Monthly resistance trend line looks good. Monthly support trend line also looks good. Go down to the daily, weekly next. Open it up so we can see what's going on with this. And again, looking at the RSI on weekly, it's looking at about 63 with the average at 53. So we're looking at a potential bullish trend on that. Go down to the daily, it's right there, and we have again RSI of about 64. Still not overbought. We didn't have this correction right here until it was overbought here. Over 70 right there. So we could see this. This goes up to into the 70s, or even touches it. What's this? That one right there, 69. So it's we could be seeing a maybe time for a nice pullback in the dollar versus the yen based on the RSI. Again, not looking at anything fun there. I'm thinking we could have a correction right up around the 153 range, right as near this top, possibly about right there, which is 153.43. May want to get into a sell type situation about 153.25. I think that might be a good trade to get into this next week. But at any rate, weekly, daily trend lines are looking good also. Nothing been violated. And let's get down to our 4-hour trend lines. I'm always looking for the pullback. And 4-hour trend lines. Now, this 4-hour resistance trend line is totally shattered. But I'm going to leave it there because I think it's going to possibly mean something in the future. So I'm going to leave that trend line there right now for some reason. Why? I'm not so sure. But that is a definite breakout on that. Took place Friday. Got started last Friday and really took off Sunday night. 100% pullback on that, and then got settled in here around the 150.60 range area. And 150.78 kind of consolidated in there and then took off again on Monday. So isn't that interesting? So we could see something like that again this week, a kind of a consolidation period going into Monday, and then Monday morning have it take off again with the strength in the dollar. Maybe could be what's going to happen. It's not going to take off far, I don't think. So we're going to get into this 142.53 range and start bouncing off that trend line again. It's a possibility. It could happen. May not happen at all. Who knows? My magic ball is in the shop. I don't have a magic ball. It's not for me to predict the future, but to trade what I see on the chart. And I see it going into a nice resistance area and possible sellbacks. Let's see, monthly on the British pound versus the dollar. Support and resistance trend lines are definitely forming a triangle right there for the monthlies. So we could see bullish type. Yeah, that's going to be a bullish confirmation chart. Pattern right there, that triangle. So or a wedge, if you want to call it that. So we are looking for the British pound to go higher eventually against the dollar on the monthly side, but we're not there yet. Daily. Go back to the daily chart, and the daily chart has again daily. Back out again. Daily support and resistance trend lines look good. We're starting to get playing along with this daily trend line here, but it's definitely not enough to move it. In fact, I'm definitely keeping that trend line there. It's not been broken yet by a close, so I'm not worried about that. I wouldn't move it anyway because it's just doesn't look right to me. But we do have a definite falling wedge here on the 4-hour. Which is indicative of a bullish run. But again, we're not there to the activation point yet. It'll probably be down here at 132.46. And approximate time will be about about the same day as the rate decision. We'll see what happens with that. May want to go into dollar weakness after the rate decision, so we'll see how that acts. The I've got one outlook that says that Powell's speech usually gives a bullish response to the dollar, so we'll see about that. See what happens, because I'm not going to be there for this. I'm not going to be in the office for the speech. Oh, well, we'll be in the office for the speech on Wednesday. I have the day off, so I'll be in the office again. The day off from my day job, because I'm not independently wealthy yet. So I need a day job, which if you're going to trade Forex or just getting into it, if you're not independently wealthy to begin with, you will need a source of income. This is the monthly chart, and the monthly chart looks good. Again, should probably draw a resistance trend line right there. Monthly resistance trend line. Pull this one over here. I like that better. It's kind of possible double top action going on right there. So right there and right there. So we could have a double top type scenario. Let's see if I can focus in there a little bit tighter. And that went up to 203.49. Whoa, just right where the close was on Friday. Interesting. It could be looking like a double top, could bounce off of it and go higher. Who knows? The double top usually sends it lower. This would be the neckline, which means we're going to have 50% more than that. Drop down to 169. If the GJ drops to 169, there are major problems going on. I expect to see gold $7,000 that day too. So we're not going to talk about that. That would be horrific. What happened till November anyway, so we're not going to worry about that. That's just way too much weird speculation. I'm not going to get into that. So the weekly trend lines, I don't have any weekly trend lines on this chart because the monthlies tend to be showing a good idea of what's going on. The daily trend lines are also intact. Daily support trend lines. That one's pretty. A lot of bouncing off of this one right here. I have a text message from somebody. Oh. Got a dentist appointment on Wednesday, so I'll be having some cavities done. Let's see. So here we have the daily resistance trend line, and again, not a whole lot going on here. A lot of consolidation to the upward side. I don't expect to see it retrace back up to 205 anytime soon. But if the Japanese do make this move on the right there, then we would expect it to hit about 205, or in this area, 205.37. Should be a 200 pip move to the north. That would form a double top and then fall off with the Japanese rate decision. And that's a lot of speculation. That's not trading advice. That's just literally just speculation. Don't do that. Unless you see this hit 205, I would not get into that. The 4-hour trend line. That's where you wait and see what the markets are going to do instead of trying to force the markets to do what they do, because the markets don't care about you. Markets are going to do what markets are going to do. Let's see. The 4-hour support trend lines are also looking good. 4-hour resistance trend line is right over here and over here. Again, depending on the time frame, it's not really good to make any speculation on this on the time frames, because you don't know what's going to happen. And just looking at it is really too subjective. You could do a lot of things with that. 4-hour support trend line looks like this is broken. However, we're going to get back out of the UCAD and go back to the monthly. Lots of stuff in the news about the UCAD. A lot of mouthing going on between the Carney, the President of the United States, and Trump. So we'll see how that goes in the future. We have, what have we got going on here? The monthly support monthly trend lines look good, and the support trend line looks good. I don't even see my monthly resistance trend lines right over here. I'll probably pull this out over here, right? Or go further than that. No, further than that, it's a mess unless we come down to here. What's that look like? Not sure about that monthly trend line. Pull it up here. Go from that top. That top of that looks okay. That is also a wedge forming a triangle, which is with higher lows, meaning a bullish signal there. So we could see this break out to the north side. I would expect it to also with a lot of the economic things that are going on the macro side. If it's going to go anywhere, I expect to see Canadian dollar weakness and U.S. dollar strength compared to each other. Daily support and resistance trend lines. Not so sure about this trend line. Wondering if it should be up here. It'll look like that. But we'll put it back down here for now. Because it is trending higher. And so is the 4 hour. So we're going to back off of that. Go back down to the dailies. That was a weekly anyway. Oops. And if you see Michael written on this, that's not my idea. It's Michael Boutros, who's also a strategist for Forex.com and also a trader. He's very good at trend lines and pitchforks and the like. So sometimes I've got a pitchfork drawn in here, especially with the metals. Daily support and resistance trend lines look good. I'm going to hold those there. And then we'll go down to the 4 hour and see what's going on here. 4 hour, and I'm kind of changing up my strategy a little bit, going to the dailies to see when the daily charts, higher time frames to see the daily charts to pick out the trades, and then 4 hour charts to find my entry. So let's see, with this we have UCAD, and the 4 hour trend lines look good. And then after that, we're going to go to the Canadian versus the yen. We're going to back out to the monthlies, look at our trend lines here. And we have got this. We'll come in a little bit closer. And there we go. Monthly support and resistance trend lines look good. With that, we go to the dailies. Well, let's go to the weeklies too. We get any ideas for trading there. Yeah. Sorry about that. Get some more coffee. So here we go. Sometimes I have an energy drink in my coffee cup, like now. I do not just drink scalding hot coffee like that. Daily, let's go down the daily trend line right here. See what we got going on here. And daily support and resistance trend lines look good. Then let's look at our 4 hour trend lines, which are all messed up. So this one has been totally broken. Here, this one should probably come out to here. Pull this one down to here. And then this one, that was totally messed up. I'm going to pull this up here. It gives us a better idea of the 4 hour scale of what's going on. Again, same scenario as the US dollar, looking at this to possibly come up here and then come down here. Here. So looking at it to probably hit this area. Again, hit the week high of 109-ish area, and I'll be watching all three yen crosses to see how that works out to prepare for the what I think is inevitable. I know other people don't see it, of a possible rate hike by the BOJ. I see the need for one. They don't. Then again, I don't run the country of Japan, so I don't know what is in their face over there. But mathematically speaking, I think the chances that they're going to raise rates are higher than we think here in the West. Here is the monthly trend line. Monthly support trend lines look good for the Aussie. And let's come down to the weekly chart, just for grins, which I don't think I have any weekly trend lines in here. Probably should, but I don't. And let's see what we have here. This will go to the daily. Go to the daily trend lines right here. I'm boring myself. Wow. Never thought that would be possible. This could probably be extended further. This daily trend line could be just hitting the closes right there. And then we see a lot of downward with the downward channel with the Aussie versus the dollar, indicating dollar strength. You can see that come down more into this area before it buys back. Probably see it buy back more around this area before we see a good solid bounce and then going to the north side on that. And that's probably a better idea for a channel pitchfork right there. Let's draw one of those just for grins, just for kicks. There, 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 and it's already broken out of that channel. How about that? Going on over here. That's on the 4-hour side. No, I don't like that either. We're not going to leave that in there. So on the daily side, again, not a whole lot going on with this pair, but on the 4-hour, let's just see if our trend lines are holding. For our support and resistance, our trend lines are holding. So we've got weekly support right here. We can more another key support level right here. Key weekly resistance is right here, and that would make sense for a downward trade on that. So gold. Let's go to gold. Gold. There is no point in even looking at the monthly trend line. Let's go back up to daily. Daily's not been violated either. I did put a neat little pitchfork in there. You got bullish validation right there. Looks like we're not even going to come close to that. Near-term support. Friday's close is right on near-term support. The double, if there was a double top on the was it the daily or the 4-hour that showed the double top? Because that'd be the double top neckline right there. I don't see a double top on this chart. Go down to 4-hour and see if we can see a yeah, there it is. There's the double top, potential double top on the 4-hour, double top neckline put in there, which 4-hour, and that shows that's where the neckline would be, which means the complete move would be another 50% of this would be this move doubled. So we've got a measuring of whoops. Here's that again. That didn't work out. So the neckline would be right here. That's $200, $192. So the full move would be 384. To be down around this area, be right on that bullish invalidation, and also the low of October 21st, October 25th, Tuesday's low. So that's what we would see on that. Now we can get away from that now. So that would be the full move. It has not come down there yet. May not. Depends on what happens with this this Asian conference that's going on. Then again, we could see a lot more buying of gold there. That could be the reason why the gold stopped being bought so much is because they're entering a conference period in Asia. Because a lot of this gold buying was done in the Asian market, in the Asian time frame, Asian time, nighttime for us. Let's see, silver. Let's see what's going on. Silver again. Silver's been on a tear, on a historic tear. So there's not really any reason to check out anything. That's what it looks like on the monthly. Nice big candle right there, but it is not a slowing down candle at all. And that candle will close on Friday, Thursday, Friday. Because Saturday is November the 1st for us in the United States and everywhere else, I think. So we should see a continuation of this trend. I expect the silver trend to continue because silver is wonderful. I like a lot of silver, like this one right here. This is a San Francisco Mint NCG rated Mint State 70 2020 yes. A COVID silver eagle, as it were. So we're going to go from here. There's really not any reason to go any same thing with gold. It's been on a historic run, not really going anywhere, not going south anytime soon. That's about as far as it's going to go, in my opinion. You see it consolidating here a good bit, but what I am looking at is higher highs and lower and higher lows. So that's just consolidation, meaning a potential breakout again for silver. So I have not sold any of my silver position or any of my gold positions, and I certainly have not sold any physicals. Highly recommend silver for a long hedge against pretty much everything. So with that, that's what we've got now. Today we've got a lot more speculation coming up tonight. When the markets open, we'll see how they open, see if there are any gaps, any large gaps that show up in any of the currencies, like the euro versus the, the dollar versus the yen, or the dollar versus the Canadian. I'm expecting to see some fireworks in the dollar versus the Canadian. Could see a pullback back into this area right here, and then before it starts buying again. It's major resistance right there. On the daily chart, looks like that. Then again, we may have already seen it. This could be the point right here that we want to get into. Get into this trade about 139.97. It's right at 140. I don't like that. Probably going to 140.05 or possibly over that candle 140.06 before I come back in. That might be a good place to come back in. Then again, you may want to watch it come down to here. So it depends on how the market opens. We could see a pullback to here and before it takes off again. I would like to see that daily on a wedge. See if there are any pitchfork type things. And can that be considered a swing low? Sort of that like that, and then we'll see what happens from there. So that could be a fun thing to do. Just according to this, it should stay within this chart. Then again, we may want to come back out a little bit more. Delete. And go here and see what happens. Oh, look at that. That's prettier. And it stays within the chart lines. And it's coming down to the 25% mark there. So again, lots of fun on that. I'm going to leave that pitchfork there just for kicks, just to see what happens with it. Better yet, I'm not. I'm going to go to an even bigger time frame. Let's go to the monthlies. See if we can get a monthly pitchfork to hold on this, on the dollar versus the Canadian. It is somewhat attractive to me because go right here, boom, and 3 right there, and then we come into the daily and then see what it looks like there. So there, not maybe too much of a time frame out on that one, so we're going to delete that one. So that's where we stand on that. Not the most fireworky pair, but the dollar versus the CAD could show dollar strength. If we get a good indication of dollar strength over the weekend, if the markets like the rate cut, then it'll be more dollar type investments coming in. So with that, we'll see what happens from there. Maybe we'll get some tariffs lowered or some tariffs increased. I don't know how that works. But that's all what I got today. If you like this video, then by all means like it. Hit the thumbs up button. If you like if you want to see more of these videos, then subscribe. And then that way you'll be notified when I put one out. And if you, and by all means, subscribe to the channel. And also, if you have any comments, just comment to the channel, and we'll see what goes down. And after that, we also do shorts when I'm not in the office and we're running around New England. And we'll be just doing some of that later on today. So you guys have a great one. I'll talk with you later. Bye.